The world out there in policing is not the same way it was 10, 20, 30 years ago. Things are becoming more violent, more organized, and we have to stay one step ahead.
ERT is an extra level of force that can be brought in to solve a critical situation.
As everybody else is running away from the situation, we're normally the guys that are running to the situation.
Our teams are the last resort that a police force has.
Hey, honey, are you okay? It's the police.
On the outskirts of Ottawa, this peaceful road leads to the National Tactical Training Centre, where candidates are trained to be the future members of the RCMP's emergency response team. Sergeant Rod McLeod is the National Training Coordinator of ERT.
This is where we do pretty much 90% of all the ERT training for our teams across the country.
Police, put your hands in the air! Do it now! Exit the vehicle, put your hands in the air!
ERT is a highly trained tactical unit, trained to perform high-risk operations.
Well, the ERT program stands for Emergency Response Team, and a lot of different outfits around the world call them different things. Tactical teams, SWAT is probably the most common acronym that's used for ERT. It's basically a team of highly trained individuals that have specialized tactics, use specialized weapons, and work together as a team to resolve situations.
1972 Munich Olympics. Palestinian terrorists wreak havoc. 11 athletes are murdered while the German police are unable to assemble an effective response. The world is in shock. Canada is the site of the next Olympics in 1976. The very real fear of terrorism on Canadian soil was the genesis of the RCMP's emergency response team.
When the Olympics were coming to Canada in '76, the RCMP realized that there was a need for some special abilities. All police officers are very well trained, but there's situations that occur with violent perpetrators that take another skill set that's maybe above and beyond what the regular police officer may bring to the table.
At the National Tactical Training Centre, the learning curve is steep. Tactics, procedures, weapons drills.
Advance to contact!
Taking them from what they get taught as a police officer in depot, we take them from there into tactical shooting, shooting and moving, and then advanced skill sets with the firearms. We teach them to rescue hostages, deal with any situation they have to in interior combat, whether it's inside a building, inside a vehicle. If they have to think on their feet, there has to be teamwork, there has to be good, sound decision-making in there, discerning who is an adversary and who is someone we're in there to protect and rescue.
ERT is equipped with specialized weaponry and equipment. Each has its own purpose based on the scenario or threat. But the training is more than weapons. It's tactics and judgment. Learning when and when not to apply lethal force.
Today's session involves vehicle takedowns for high-risk vehicles or passengers. We try and teach them how to do a rolling vehicle stop, to select a site and take custody of the occupants of the vehicle with minimizing the risk to the public at large.
Your hands up! Turn around!
In critical situations, these future ERT members will be counted on to get the job done, no matter what.
Every ERT member across the country has the same training. We can take one of the teams in BC, put them in the Atlantic province with the team there, and it's the same tactics, the same equipment, the same standard operating procedures, and they can fit right in and they can get the job done.
Things are becoming more violent, more organized, and we have to stay one step ahead. So we're constantly reevaluating our training. We go international, we go across the country to other police departments to evaluate our own training and tactics to increase them and improve them as time goes on. The world out there in policing is not the same way it was 10, 20, 30 years ago.
Criminal activity is not restricted to land. The emergency response team is also called in when there are threats at sea. Land or water, if ERT gets the call, the situation is critical.
We need, as a national police force, to have a presence on the waters to deal with anything from criminal activity right up to terrorist activity, whether that be on the Great Lakes, on the West Coast, or on the East Coast. And the tactics that the members are going to learn out there will allow them to board anything and secure any threats that are going to be coming into our waters that we know of.
Victoria, British Columbia. Inside this downtown building, these elevators lead to a quiet basement. But behind this door is anything but quiet. This is where the ERT is doing marine security training. They're the on-water tactical unit for the RCMP, and they're gearing up for another day of intense training.
What we're doing here in Victoria is we're training our operational teams for deployments on the water, whether that be dock situations, houseboats. They could be dealing with large freighters, pretty much everything and anything that they could have a criminal, federal, or provincial mandate to deal with.
ERT's tactics have been refined and perfected over the past 30 years. It's an ongoing perfection. Their objective is to neutralize dangerous situations while preserving the lives of hostages and team members.
There's a couple of big components that go on in a marine environment. Number one, we've got to get on the ship. So that's kind of a whole separate part of it. And we've got ladders and systems for getting onto ships. It's difficult. You have the ladder tends to swing out underneath you. It's really easy to hang from almost a flexed arm hang. And if you do that, you're going to blow your arms up real quickly and you won't get up the ladder. So there's techniques that we're teaching them, keeping their legs underneath them, climbing with their legs, and getting onto the ship. And then once they're on the ship, we want the team to get to the bridge and take control of the bridge as quickly as possible.
They move as a team covering 360 degrees. Unknown threats could be lurking anywhere, behind any door, and down any passageway. 2008, the Arabian Sea. The Canadian Navy intercepts a Pakistani drug-running vessel. They board the ship and take it by force, uncovering over $65 million worth of drugs. The same threats are now present in Canadian waters. Drugs, weapons, illegal immigrants, terrorists. These are just a few of the situations that ERT members prepare for. When they board a suspicious ship, their eyes are trained to see everything that moves. Everything. They carry weighted red plastic guns while training, but they treat these guns with respect. It's that respect that keeps people safe. Their intense scenarios include international cooperation, especially with the United States.
You guys probably did that in about 4 or 5 minutes. It's not bad. I mean, you have to do it in about 2 normally, but first time, excellent. My role in state is I am commander for our waterborne strike team, which is a regional anti-terrorism team on the water. It's from the state of Florida. And we train pretty much the same way the RCMP trains. That way we both keep on table with new ideas and new tactics. and it's a cooperative sharing effort.
It's not just the threats on the vessel that concern ERT. Hypothermia, shock, drowning, fear of heights, realities of working at sea.
Well, this is a jump from height station where we teach them how to jump off a dock or a ship, more specifically, cross their legs and then land safely in the water so they don't get injured.
Jumping from over 30 feet into icy cold water with 70 pounds of gear on, the impact could be crippling and potentially fatal.
The vest I'm wearing has 70 pounds of lead in it so that you sink quickly. The idea is you go in disoriented, it turns you upside down, and you have to free yourself from equipment. So it's a test to check for panic, for water phobia, claustrophobia, that sort of thing.
Over and over they practice, preparing themselves for the real thing. But the next scenario is a far greater test of courage.
Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to finish the training that the emergency response teams have taken, where they started in the pool, learned how to use the survival egress air, a small 1 cubic foot pony bottle of air. And what they're going to do today is we're going to simulate that they've capsized and they're in an overturned vessel. We're going to get 5 of you to go out the bow and then 5 of you to go out the stern, breathing on the SCA. Don't hold your breath, and we're going to do it with the hatches closed.
One by one, they climb into the overturned vessel. Cold, dark, upside down, totally disorienting. What you think is up could be down. There's only enough air for a few quick breaths. Seconds feel like hours. From a vessel that's been overturned to a vessel on the open seas, training shifts gears and the stakes get higher. This vessel simulates a drug or arms runner with any number of unknown threats on board. The drivers need to be focused on their target. 1 second of lapsed judgment could kill an ERT member.
When you see that there's people already on ship, like we have to make sure that it keeps rolling, okay? So you have to sling your MP5 in advance to be ready to jump to go in the vessel.
The assaulters have only seconds to board the ship. In a real-life scenario, this ship deck could be full of armed hostiles, waiting and ready to defend their cargo. ERT recall their training. Eyes scan, ears listen, feet move. The next task, board a much bigger ship with greater challenges, moving at a higher rate of speed. This scenario pushes the body to its limit.
Because they're going to have not just the ladder to contend with, but sea, waves. The rib is going to be against a ship. The rib's moving, maybe. The rib may break away and come back. There's all kinds of stuff that they can't control in that environment, so they really need to know the climbing system before they get out there.
It's a horrible feeling to all of a sudden be burning out. You got nothing left in your arms. You're looking down at potentially peeling off head first, upside down, backwards off the ship.
Falling into the ocean can be fatal. The ship's propellers could suck you in and kill you in 1/100th of a second.
It can be pretty scary.
Across the country, there are members of the emergency response team on standby. They deal with violent and dynamic scenarios that take place on land and at sea. This emergency response team is responsible for all high-risk calls in Manitoba, an area more than 650,000 square kilometers. Standoffs are a frequent call for this ERT group. As a security measure, This member's identity must be protected.
To show you the diverse nature and the geographic size of the province, we actually had a call where we had to fly from Winnipeg all the way north up to Granville Lake. Male subject, known violent individual, believed armed with firearms, had seriously assaulted his common-law wife, who was pregnant at the time. We had to charter a plane from Winnipeg, fly up to Leaf Rapids, Manitoba, and then from there take a helicopter in. So obviously going to a remote place like that, just basically carry what you can on your back.
Equipment can weigh over 100 pounds, but the threats weigh more heavily. To prepare ERT for high-risk situations, a large-scale provincial training scenario is taking place in northern Manitoba. It's so remote, only one road goes in and out. The team prepares to deploy. The drive is usually 3 hours, but a massive ice storm has crippled the main roads. Driving in this weather is extremely challenging. It takes 7 long hours before ERT arrives. They join the other agencies on site and help set up the command center. It's tiring work, but in a real-life crisis, there's no time to rest. It's not long before the scenario is presented to the team, and it hits close to home. A fellow RCMP member has been taken hostage. All standard police measures have been exhausted, and the situation is now critical. But before they can react, they must gather intelligence and analyze the situation.
We got to gear up right now, and we're going to be going as soon as we're all geared up, ready to go.
Send your police there, your block there, secure it here.
Okay.
And we can send rescue behind.
Okay.
And we'll have RCMP here containing this road.
Okay.
Hours pass. Tensions grow. ERT leaves base camp determined to rescue the hostage. They drive and hike for miles through the remote woods in freezing conditions. The mobile command post has been constantly updating and relaying the latest intelligence. Everyone is past fatigued, but they still remain focused. As night turns into day, the team arrives at the suspect's cabin. Undetected, they assess the situation. Meanwhile, the negotiators arrive on site. They deploy a robot equipped with communications. The goal is to establish contact with the hostage taker, defuse the situation, and prevent casualties.
We have a phone on the robot at the front door by the orange sled.
Call after call, negotiations fail.
Hello? Contact, he didn't hang up. Yeah, he just didn't want to talk anymore.
One option remains. ERT is going in. But after so many hours, it may be too late. For almost 24 hours, a hostage rescue scenario has been taking place in a remote area of northern Manitoba. While the escaped suspect is pursued by another unit, ERT have been quietly and patiently waiting to make their move. All attempts at negotiations have failed, and the crisis is now at its peak. The incident commander gives the go-ahead. ERT moves in quickly with explosives to gain entry. It's called an immediate action response. For ERT, this scenario has ended successfully. No one got hurt. And both suspects are now in custody. This is why they train.
That's not uncommon that an actual real call might run that long or even longer, but you carry on, get the job done. That's the bottom line. In conjunction with everybody, the negotiators, our other technical units, so forth, general duty members and what have you. So everybody works together as a team to come up with a resolution to the problem at hand.
ERT is the last resort for the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Their grueling and intensive training is necessary. It makes for a stronger individual, a stronger team, and ultimately, a safer Canada. Teamwork means working with other organizations and sharing tactical skills. Knowledge builds knowledge.
They're a great bunch of guys, very professional, extremely professional, and it's a joy to work with them. And I bring a lot of stuff back to the States just from the cooperative effort, like I said before, and the professionalism that the RCMP has.
On a national level or even international level, we stand up on par or above.
I've met people and I've been teammates with people that I absolutely count on in regular life and in work life. And there's few people you can depend on like those guys. After you've gone through the situations you have with them, you know that they're always there for you. And you're able to, a lot of times, to resolve some pretty dicey situations, and it's very rewarding. I just hope that all my parts stay together long enough that I can keep doing it till the end of my career.
I always wanted to do a Northern Territorial posting.
Resist. Keep your hands behind your back, okay? Get on your knees. Good, sir.
We're told that to come up here, you have to be a bit more of a stronger cadet.
I'm going to arrest you for being drunk in public, okay?
Having a bad night.
We all recognize the challenges up here. It's a very unique territory, very beautiful as well.
There's nothing I'd rather be doing. If I could do this day in, day out, I'd do it every single day. I love it.
Jimmy akabak pingasalik tamani palisi meo yunga atata chiagalo tatagalo palisi meo si mayuk hobe anak to palisi luni hobe na nang kalwa luni tunga sigutsi ihalunno.
Born and raised in Nunavut territory, a northerner through and through, third-generation RCMP member, Jimmy was made to serve the North.
I'm Inuit. I speak the language. I'm a crisis negotiator. I'm a guide, interpreter. I take a lot of members out on the land, ski-doing or day trips. Basically, a northerner doing a job within the RCMP. Knowing the language can have advantages and disadvantages. Advantages that you communicate with everybody, or even the elders, complainants. People tend to talk to you more or give you information because most times Inuit, I find, when they're upset or when they're under stress, they want to speak their mother tongue.
Jimmy has lived and worked in the North for over 20 years. The RCMP have been there for over 120. They share a complex history with the Inuit people they serve, a history defined by cultural differences and common bonds.
Palisimi, which is people working with the RCMP. That's an old traditional name from way back when Inuit family would look after RCMP members that came north and help feed them, clothe them, keep them from freezing, basically.
One of the highest-ranking Inuit RCMP officers in Canada, Jimmy works in Nunavut's V Division, along with 138 RCMP members, serving the capital of Iqaluit and all of the isolated hamlets across the territory. 1.9 million square kilometers of barren, hostile tundra. The commanding officer in charge, Marty Cheliak.
Northern policing is basically remote policing. It's certainly different from down south. We have communities that stretch from north of Quebec City to north of Edmonton, almost to the British Columbia border. We have a multifunctional role up here. It's really, it's quite unique and challenging in that respect too, because we are the social worker, we are the taxi driver, we're sometimes the ambulance driver, and sometimes we're the health nurse. The RCMP in the territory is the one agency that anybody can call 24/7, and we are there. We will respond to any situation.
Responding 24/7 can mean flying across the territory at a moment's notice.
We have one Pilatus P-12 aircraft. We have 2 pilots and 1 flight engineer. We generally fly about 30 of 31 days out of the month.
In 2007, Constable Douglas Allen Scott was shot when he responded to a call in the hamlet of Kimmerit, Nunavut. RCMP Air Services had an emergency response team in the air and on their way to the scene within minutes. The civilian members who fly for Air Services are among the best in the country. They know that in the North, you have to expect the unexpected.
The conditions up here are pretty harsh. We'll see beautiful spring days. The first hour of the flight, and we'll be passing over areas of blizzard conditions, and then ending up at, on the other side of that, back in beautiful weather. There are no real standard conditions other than extreme.
It's the extremes of Nunavut that make communication imperative to RCMP operations up north.
The telecoms unit here, the Operational Communication Center, is a lifeline for every member in all 25 communities 24/7.
Okay, Beersa, go ahead. Do you want me to keep you on until you're 78?
We check on our members every 60 to 90 minutes. If they're on a call, we check on them every 3 minutes.
Anything can happen in 3 minutes. Telecoms and air services can be the difference between life or death for the RCMP members heading out on the front lines of Canada's far north. From the Baffin region to the Kitikmeot communities, the RCMP are Nunavut's first responders. Many have lived there for years, but most are junior members in their first posting with the force. The busy detachment in Iqaluit is an ideal training ground for these RCMP rookies.
My first day here, we had over 15 arrests, just me and my partner, over 20 calls, dealing with different things, and that's all in a 10-hour shift. Like, we didn't get to sit down for probably 5 hours. We're on the road so much. Kip, what's he wanted for? 10-4.
Constable Brent Morkey is in the field coaching program in Iqaluit. He's from Regina, Saskatchewan, and he's been in the RCMP for just under 6 months.
Okay, come on.
What did I say? Keep your hand behind your back. That's what I'm doing. Settle down. You can sing in Navi.
You're dealing with stuff that you don't think you'd ever deal with. I think we're told that to come up here, you have to be a bit more of a stronger cadet, stronger person, because you are more alone. You have to be more independent. You don't always have that time for backup.
Constable Tyler Smith from Cremona, Alberta, has served in the north for just over 2 years.
I always wanted to do a northern posting, a territorial posting, and when it came up when I was in training that there was an opportunity to go up north, I was eager to take the opportunity on coming up here. I joined the RCMP to see the country, and I'm definitely seeing that so far.
Crime has been on the rise in Nunavut for the past 5 years. 2007 saw 10 murders, 40 suicides, and 19 armed standoffs in a population of just 30,000.
I'd say up to 85 to 90% of the calls we get is alcohol related.
How much have you had to drink tonight?
Or after the fact, we get investigations on assault or sexual assault, disputes, family disputes. It is busy.
Did anybody hit you?
No.
We'll get somebody that can talk to you, okay?
Okay.
Not every call is about picking up the pieces.
Ma'am, come to the front of the car.
Some are about making sure things don't fall apart. Maybe letting someone sleep it off instead of going home where families can be impacted.
201 White Road, Conway advised that 2 males fighting outside of that residence. He did not see any weapons. Unsure if they're in talk.
But other nights, trouble can come from any direction.
Don't resist. Keep your hands behind your back, okay? Boys, we got the suspect here.
On this night, police surround a man suspected of assault as he tries to flee the scene.
Get on your knees. Put your hands behind your head, okay? Lay on your stomach. Get down. Get on the ground. Hands behind your back. You have to think fast, and you have to be very tactical in your thinking. It just comes down to basically public safety, and there has to be people that are willing to do things and put themselves in harm's way to basically protect society. Okay, I'm arresting you for break and enter and assault, okay? You have the right to retain and instruct counsel in private without delay. There's a 24-hour legal aid number available. The lawyer can explain the legal aid plan to you. Do you understand?
When extreme danger erupts in the north, an elite group of tactical officers known as the Emergency Response Team is called into action.
All right. Situation is at 10 o'clock this morning. There was an incident in Apex in Iqaluit. Individual known to police has shot his common law, and he was in possession of a .308 rifle. Certainly the north is challenging as we're working. The cold is always a factor here when we're dealing with calls out on the land. We learn how to adapt to that, how our equipment's going to respond, and ways to work around the cold. There's a high degree of gun ownership through the north, and the majority of our calls are involving complaints with shots fired and firearms involved. Okay, don't let your guard down. He may have friends with him. Make sure you have good cover.
Police, stop! Drop the gun! Put the gun down! Take 10 steps toward us! Stop! Kneel down to the ground! Get down on your belly! Adam, you're under arrest for murder right now, Adam, okay?
Tactical specialists, rookie patrolmen, specialized support units, all RCMP members on the front lines in Iqaluit, all dealing with the same challenges police in southern cities face, with an added icy layer. But what truly sets northern policing apart is the service the RCMP provides to the 25 remote posts spread across Nunavut.
We have 25 communities in the north, all isolated, all fly-in posts. We have 15 two-member posts in Nunavut, and it's very remote. The countryside is no trees, of course, very cold, and certainly very cold in the winter.
All right, Ben, give me that back. This is what's called a summons ticket.
After 6 months in Iqaluit, Constable Brent Morkey was posted to the small remote community of Baker Lake. Population 1,800.
I remember getting off the plane, it was cold. It was coming from Iqaluit, you don't have the wind, and it's a cold here that digs right through you.
Brent's new partner is Constable Michael Simpson, a 10-year veteran of the North.
First time meeting Mike was interesting right away. It was just welcome, come on over, have supper, you know, meet the family. This is our family, welcome to it, you're now part of it.
It's interesting. You're much more visible, I found. You're like a fish in a very little bowl, and everyone knows who you are. Both communities I've been, just been a couple of us. I think I get to, work-wise, I think I get to do a lot more than other people. Like, I tend to get to follow a file right from the beginning, right to the end.
You get to actually know the people a little bit more now. You go to calls, you actually know who they are. You've spoken with them, you might have played hockey with their kids, and yeah, you just seem to know everyone, and you do your best to help the family out instead of getting in there and get the job done, get out, and hurry up to the next call. How's the weather out there?
Cold.
Getting colder.
That extreme cold is at the root of V Division's biggest challenge: manpower. They're short a dozen full-time members, and a small 8-man relief unit tries to meet the demands of the entire territory.
The challenge up here for the last 2 years has been that every 30 days I had members flying in and out of communities.
With demand almost impossible to meet, the relief unit has to bring in members from all across Canada to fill in.
It's frustrating at times. It's nerve-wracking to make sure that members are not left alone.
Remote members like Brent and Michael are on call 24/7. If extreme danger arises, backup is hours away.
In a crisis situation, it takes us a long time to get from one area to another. If we have to mobilize our emergency response team or a major crimes unit to attend Cambridge Bay or Kugluktuk on our west side, it can take us up to 8-10 hours at times.
Those hours can seem like days in the midst of a hostile situation. And it's not just the members who feel it. Michael's wife, Susan, has done her share of police work when no one else could.
I always say that I should get paid overtime because I'm up at night as well. And it does happen that I know what's going on sometimes, which I would prefer not to, and I do worry.
One night, a man armed with a gun threatened Michael and his partner. A standoff ensued at the man's home.
So I was kind of worried about Susan, so I got her and took her back to the office so she heard a lot of the call just because the radio was going. I was talking to dispatch on this radio in the office.
The police officers couldn't leave the scene. Backup was flying in. That night, Susan became a part of the team, the only one who could escort the backup into town. This is the nature of policing in the far north.
When we arrived to Iqaluit in 1999, we were into an adventure. I had lived outside of Toronto my whole life, and we were just very excited to try something different, and we definitely got a different experience.
I think the uniqueness is everybody knows who you are, and you know who everybody else is. And you all have to live with each other, and you see everybody wherever you go, whether it's to the northern store, gas station, or to the school. You want to get to know these people because it's such a community, you want to be part of it.
The people have been wonderful. I've had great experiences with people here. Very gracious, welcoming people interested in telling us about their life.
You know, the Inuit have a very distinct culture up here, and they're very traditional and spiritual and culturally attuned. We have a good relationship that's built on a tradition that was really established through the special constables as interpreters, as guides, as looking out for the RCMP. We would have never survived up here without the Inuit.
The unique relationship between RCMP and Inuit has led to new ways of policing evolving in the north.
That's the red one. What's the other color?
A community-based approach is just the beginning.
We almost demanded of our employees that we want them to be culturally compatible with the communities that they serve in. We want them to get out and explore and to really treat this as an adventure, you know, to live in the culture, to understand and to get involved in the community.
Every day you learn something new, especially with the job we have. You learn different ways of talking to people, and you get to experience different things. Snow machining, going to find someone, search and rescue. There's all sorts of different things you can learn. Hunting, fishing, speaking with the elders, speaking with the kids. Just everything is just an amazing experience.
Nunavut stands apart. A unique and vibrant place to live. A challenging and demanding place to work. And for the RCMP members who choose it as their home, Nunavut is their reward.
%87% of the people in Nunavut speak Inuktitut. as their mother tongue language, as their first language. So we need to be able to respond in kind. And we're going down that road with the special constables.
Welcome to the engagement ceremony of our 2 new special constables.
The newest members of the RCMP received their badges. Part of a new Northern Provo unit, they will escort prisoners across the territory.
This young woman and this young man represent the foundation for what is to become the future for Nunavut and responding to the needs of our communities. They are made in Nunavut for Nunavut. I think that we provide a superior police service to the territory based on a number of factors, but really with the challenges that we face and the junior membership that we have, even coupled with all of those challenges, we do provide a great service to the communities in Nunavut.
CO Marty Cheliak's northern tenure is almost at an end. For those who stay, the challenges continue. The extremes rage on. But it's the wonders of Nunavut that will forever be a part of the RCMP's continued service in Canada's far north.
Every morning you get up and something new is going to come up, or something different every day.
We're all just one great big family. And new guys coming up here, you never really experienced it. You kind of heard about the RCMP family, but you really feel it when you get up here.
It's been frightening, it's been exhilarating, it's been unique, it's been interesting, eye-opening, and for me it's been really life-changing. So it's been terrific, really. Good and bad, but mostly good, and I wouldn't change it for anything or go back and not do it.
How many people can say they've been up in the Northern Arctic? How many people can say they've been up in the Arctic Ocean, gone exploring all the way up in the tundra? And I'm just going to add to those experiences wherever I go.
It's been a wonderful experience. I leave behind a number of great friends. And I think what I'll miss most is the people, the people that really make our jobs easier and make our jobs more exciting and rewarding.
Part of the RCMP's duty is to protect those people. They're under the VIP protection, and we will look after their security while they are in Quebec City at the summit.
We also help ensure that protesters are able to exercise their right to protest.
Probably my last mission within the RCMP, and now to have my son under my command. It was great.
We're talking about the largest deployment of dignitaries of the history of Canada.
Quebec City is home to over 750,000 people. Each year, over 5 million tourists visit one of Canada's most historic cities. This particular year, it is hosting the Francophonie Summit, and 70 heads of state are expected to be coming, along with more than 3,000 delegates. Their safety is a genuine concern.
How many of you were here in Quebec City in 2001? At that time, I was OIC Ops. Yeah. Well, you probably realize there's no fence this time.
During the Summit of the Americas, the security fence was easily toppled by protesters, which led to violent confrontations with police. There were massive arrests. Many innocent people were injured. The RCMP is determined to prevent this from happening again. As is Jacques Tanguay. He was there in 2001 and is in charge now.
At that time, intelligence was really pointing to the fact that there'd be major demonstrations, violent demonstrations. Policemen got hurt, demonstrators were arrested. It was really violent. We learned from it. We have a team that has been around for the last 18 months preparing this event, and now we're in the middle of it.
Attention! Okay, there's 3 sessions here. The info session for the summit, accreditation, and the finance.
So this morning, today is the final briefing sessions. And for the rest of the week, we're going to do dry runs, according to the operation plan that we have developed for the last year. So there's going to be motorcades, bodyguards going all around Quebec City to prepare for those dignitaries that are going to visit Quebec City.
So did we pass the service road already?
Oh, service road will be just ahead on the right-hand side.
The Emergency Response Team, otherwise known as ERT, has arrived in Quebec to start scouting the official route of the motorcades, one of the most dangerous vulnerabilities of the summit.
The whole tasking for the emergency response team members that are here is to provide a tactical response for the delegates of the Francophone Summit. There is a lot of security here, a lot of other RCMP members here, and provide the tactical support, whether it be in the air, on the land, or on the water. The tasking of the Charlie teams right today and during the Francophone Summit will be replaced along the motorcade when the motorcades are moving from the airport into their sites where they were going.
If they take a last-minute turn down that road, you'll be able to cover them all the way down. Charlie 1's with Harper. Charlie 2 is with Sarkozy, so you'll be able to just jump into the back of their motorcade. Charlie 3 will be waiting for it.
So what we're doing is, before the summit now, we're just going along, looking at the site, looking at to see if there would be any threats. How would we get across an intersection? We're doing timings, we're marking all the spots in the GPS. So if we have to go help them in a situation, we know how long it's going to take, what's the best way to get there, what the mileage is. So when they talk, we know where they're going to be.
Another 2,500 members have arrived in Quebec to be part of the security force. One member in particular is the son of Jacques Tanguay. This will be the first time that father and son will have worked together.
Yeah, I think my dad's pretty happy that I'm here as well and being in Quebec for his last big event. He gave me my badge in March 2006, which was one of the biggest moments probably in my life. As for my purposes here today, I'm working at the Congress Center for Security for the summit. Big moment for my dad as well for his retirement, so pretty happy.
The next few days will be exhausting for every RCMP member. In the next 48 hours, thousands of hotel and conference rooms need to be checked for explosives, as well as chemical and biological threats. Drivers, bodyguards, and site personnel need to prep all the motorcade routes with trial runs through Quebec City, and the operations center needs to be fully running. The potential threats are immeasurable. Will the RCMP be ready? Quebec City is hosting the Francophonie Summit, and over 3,000 delegates from 70 different countries are coming. The last summit Quebec hosted was in 2001, and it got violent. Jacques Tanguay is the operational commander and has been preparing for this for over a year.
The planning of this operation has been going on for the last 18 months. So this system will also be used for the Vancouver 2010 Olympics. You have to create a team that will be able to deliver for the operation.
Anything else left to do?
No, this was the last one.
What our duties involved here are to secure each floor of the hotels or the sites that we're assigned to, the CBRN, the gas guys, the explosive guys, and you have the dogs, dog man who's going to be searching every room, plus our hand searches.
There are literally thousands of rooms that need to be checked, and there isn't much time.
We don't have that much time to execute our tasks, so we have approximately 5-6 hours to secure the whole hotel. It's very important to assure the security of the delegates that are assisting, because it's the reputation of our country, and if we can't ensure their safety, well, who's going to come and visit here? What kind of reputation is our country going to have if we don't do our job?
It's not just the hotels that need to be searched. The Congress Center in downtown Quebec is the main building where all dignitaries will be meeting. Every inch of the building must be investigated, again and again. Nothing can be missed.
We're looking for anything that looks out of the ordinary or that could be suspect. Our main goal, of course, is to look for any explosive devices, and usually the explosive devices would stand out.
Looking for any indication from the dog that we would have explosive material in the room. Once he starts to indicate and give me the body language that I would recognize as him recognizing an explosive odor, then what he does is he follows that odor to a location that's as close as he can get to the source. They'll last up to probably an hour per search, and I'd probably have to rest him at least once halfway through that. Hey, let's go, search. And so when he sits, that indicates to me that he's as close as he can get to the source of the odor. Excuse me.
It takes a toll because, of course, we're heavily equipped to protect for our security, and as well, we have to lift pieces of furniture to look underneath, and we're doing this for 12 to 15 hours a day during this event, so it can be very hard work. It is a necessary in today's day and age because since 9/11, of course, the threats are imminent, and so we have to make sure we protect the important dignitaries that'll be here.
Right now, we are in the media center of the police partners. With us, they're the RCMP, the Sûreté du Québec, and the Service de Police de la Ville de Québec, which are the three main partners in this endeavor. Trying to explain and convey to the population of Quebec how they would be impacted. The whole focus of this has been to have as minimal impact as possible on the daily lives of citizens in the city of Quebec as well as visitors. So the messaging and getting all that information out is part of this group's responsibility. The people in this room are answering calls from the media, attending different locations to provide first-hand response to questions from reporters, clarify any misconceptions, and generally give information relating to summit security.
Now that the sun has set, the motorcades are rehearsing pickups and drop-offs throughout Quebec City. Over 400 cars need to get from various locations to the opening ceremonies in 70 minutes. This is not an easy task, especially when pickups and drop-offs are happening all over the city.
So what we're doing now, we're staging to go for the official opening. Each motorcade has a rank. So we're number 47 out of 50 that we have to make our way. And we all have to come in the order 1 to 50. So it needs a lot of coordination because you're going from different hotels, different motorcades at different locations and staging area. So it's a big logistic. They're very special guests to the country, and for us it's important to take care of them. And we do it with pride, and you can see tonight that we're taking great care. This is probably the most critical moment right now because if we don't have a good timing, it's not going to look good for our VIP when they get there, and you don't want that. Okay, motorcade, we're going to move a bit. They're kind of calling us as it goes. The car on the right is letting us go. Nice and slow, and we'll be stopping soon. After the bicycles, we're going to go.
This afternoon, 3,000 delegates and heads of state from 70 countries are arriving in Quebec City, and the RCMP are waiting for every single one of them.
One thing I wanted to say and make it very clear, you must carry this badge with you anytime you're on site. You have to challenge anybody or everybody that doesn't have one. That's your role. But just make sure you're a professional at all times.
Well, right now we have approximately 22 delegates that are arriving today, and they'll be staying at the Chateau until the 19th. And part of the RCMP's duty is to protect those people. They're under the VIP protection, and we will look after their security while they are in Quebec City at the summit.
In the middle of this planning building, you will find the operation center, what we call the Unified Command Center, where all the decision-making process is being dealt in, and this is the art of the operation here. Actually, we have around 200 cameras in Quebec City, so we're able to monitor not only the operation itself, the movements of the dignitaries, but also we're able, to monitor the traffic. So if there's a need, to move, to change the roads for the motorcades or to deal with any incidents that those cameras could present to us.
I am currently in the ceremonial room. For now, our main challenges are to ensure that the individuals that will enter the room here are authorized. So if we do see any suspicious activity, then we can intercept the individuals.
Today we're working on group training. This morning we're doing individual training with 3 separate troops working on their own thing. And this afternoon we're going to work together in an integrated fashion to tie our training together and make sure that we're able to work together and that we use similar tactics and maneuvers.
Left about wheel! Left about wheel!
Okay, so the tactical troops' responsibility is to protect dignitaries, internationally protected people. And our role is also to allow protesters to exercise their right to protest.
This is the troop. Our front lines, what we call sticks and shields. We take our biggest and toughest for the front line. Back here, have our less lethal component of the troops.
This is a force-issue shotgun, and it allows us the ability to challenge threats at a greater distance.
This is our gas rank.
What we do is deploy gas to disperse the crowd or move them from one area to another.
Another component of the troop is our ERT, Emergency Response Team, and they handle the lethal component for the tactical troop.
These options really are a last resort at an event like the Francophone Summit. You'll see a number of other police officers out doing perimeter security, and we would only be called in as a last resort.
Presently, we're pre-deployed to the Francophone Summit to deal strictly with CBRN events, so anything of chemical, biological, or radiological nature. We've got several bomb suits, some that are lighter in nature for CBRN environment. We've got several robots that are here, and they're basically to remotely deal with any incident that we have, any packages, any devices. The smaller one, the orange one, the Vanguard, it's called the Mark II, is operated via a laptop. The bigger one, the Petsco, the gray one, is operated to a control that's using joystick. But there are several cameras on each robot, and for you to see what you're doing from a distance, naturally. If not, you would be going blind. We've got a little saying, if you see the package sees you, so there's always a danger of getting hurt. So we'll usually operate from inside the bomb truck. And for that, we need cameras, and the cameras are on the robot itself. Once the summit starts, we'll be basically on a response mode to any suspicious package, suspicious incident of CBRN E for explosive nature, and we'll just respond. And we might be called to, again, search more venues that are coming up or vehicles that were left unguarded for a period of time.
The time has arrived, and the delegates from 70 French-speaking countries are now arriving on Canadian soil. All the teams are in place, and the Francophonie Summit is officially about to begin. Everything is on the line. After months of coordination, the Francophonie Summit has officially arrived, and the planning has turned into execution. The streets of Quebec are now being controlled by police. Above, helicopters are doing security checks over the route for the motorcades. All is ready. The RCMP and its partners are now on full alert.
Okay, we're going to gate 25, which is just ahead of us. Oh, the red light should be on.
Quelle délégation?
J'ai l'Algérie, moi.
OK, l'Algérie.
Il y en a deux autres qui sont supposés d'être en arrière de moi, deux autres cortèges. OK. We're moving, nice and slow.
Double stack.
OK, S1, S2, double stack. 10-4, we're leaving the airport right now. We're still on the tarmac. We're exiting. 10-4, motorcade is moving, nice and slow. As soon as we get there, nobody talks.
While the VIPs are en route, snipers are on downtown rooftops, carefully scanning for any suspicious individuals below, constantly looking for threats from any direction, ready to take appropriate action if necessary. They must ensure these dignitaries are safe.
E1, F4, follow the lead from the front. We're going to the ramp.
The Ops Center is busy at work, monitoring every movement. Their eyes are on all 200 cameras that are spread throughout the city. Constant communication is the key, and now they watch and wait.
Allez-y, monsieur. There's always a bit of confusion when you get there, who gets in which car, but after that we're okay for the rest of the visit. They know where they sit, they know which car, the driver, and good work from everybody.
The operation has been running well, everything is on the clock. There was no major incidents. Yes, we have to deal with demonstrations, but nothing, that really got our full resources out. So, we're glad, about this situation. And now to have my son under my command, it was great.
There were no major incidents at the summit. History did not repeat itself in Quebec City, because the RCMP understands that meticulous planning is the key to a strong defense. Stringent security and total professionalism have thwarted any and all threats. The RCMP and their partners have ensured peace, a matter of great prestige for Canada, but all in a day's work for the men and women in red.
In the National VIP course, it's separated into three distinct areas, the ops plan and site plans, motorcading, and the third being bodyguard.
I was frustrated today. Yeah, I was definitely frustrated. It's a real steep learning curve for me to process it.
When you're tasked with protecting leaders of countries like the United States of America, you have to be capable of putting up with that kind of stress.
We all are just not security, we're also ambassadors for Canada. Once they finish this course, there's no time to make mistakes after you leave this building.
In Ottawa, Canada's capital, VIPs are frequent guests. These VIPs are vulnerable to a variety of attacks, threats, and acts of sabotage. An assassination attempt could occur on any street corner, at any time, anywhere. The RCMP provides the team to protect these VIPs. This team, composed of highly trained men and women, are skilled, alert, and prepared for the unexpected. Inside RCMP National Headquarters, Bill DeMoe, a veteran of protective policing, is preparing the training syllabus for the next National VIP course.
The VIP driver training course is a 4-day course that candidates must succeed. It's a prerequisite for the national course. It's an intensive course. A lot of work has to go into it. It's advanced techniques, defensive and offensive, because we're not dealing with regular policing. At times we have to get away from the bad guy because they're trying to attack our motorcades.
The training today is about escape and evasion. It's about getting away quickly from an attack or even an ambush. Seconds count. The training is tough. It has to be.
Worked with the National VIP course since 1984 as an instructor. I became a lead instructor. We've modified the course, improved it to understand the capability of the vehicle, what it can do, and also your limitation. But with the training, these people will have the tools to get away from a situation.
This morning in the high-speed reversing, the candidates will be leaving one from the chute that you see right behind me and reversing at a high rate of speed. They have to achieve 80 kilometers an hour and in the controlled fashion brake within a short distance of time, maintaining control of the vehicle at all times.
We have to get out of the way as fast as possible. Quick movement, tuck your elbow in, brace yourself, up to 80, and we're stopping. And then in a nice, straight fashion.
We have had in the past cars going out of control and hitting barricades and going into the ditch. It's part of the training and it's a cost of doing business, but it's something that has to be done to show them in real life if a situation were to occur. This is the only way of teaching them this is what's going to happen if you lose control.
Just hold on tight.
Going 80 kilometers backwards in a straight line is not something I've done frequently or often, but obviously this is what we're learning here, is it can be done.
Come in the back, jump in the back.
Going full reverse on a city street, those pylons represent cars or even pedestrians. Mistakes could cost lives. The standards are high, the pressure intense. One wrong move on the course could lead to failure, and these candidates know it.
That's what happens when the candidates don't hold the steering wheel in the proper position. They lose control, and like I said earlier, the mass of the car is in the front where the engine block is, and because of that, once you lose control, the back end's going to always lose to the front end.
The other maneuvers that we involve also is the pit maneuver, precision immobilization technique, and we have our specialized car we've modified so that the exact dimension of the bumpers close reality.
And this is an offensive movement that we use in case one of our motorcades would be under attack. It's a way of taking another car out of the play.
Crank it up a notch, Noggy.
Once you feel that you've got control, then
Yeah. Brush me, and then it's a complete lane change.
It's your weapon, you're accountable.
Hit it.
The stress is consuming. Candidates need to ensure a near-perfect performance in order to pass. This perfection is what saves lives.
We had a really good day on the track today. A lot of candidates are putting a lot of effort into it. We've got a couple of people that are sort of on the borderline of making it or not. Hopefully, when it comes time to the test runs this afternoon, they're going to bring their A game out and make it. You know, we make our courses here. We hope that everybody passes, but reality does set in, and not everybody can make the grade.
If the candidates can't take the pressure of a stopwatch, they won't be able to take the pressure of an attack. Those who fail go home. In Ottawa, VIP candidates underwent an intense driving course. Each candidate was timed to the second. Everything was graded. Only the most advanced drivers moved on. For Constable Cooper and Corporal Dollywall, it's been a good day. They both passed.
It was pretty much touch and go as to whether or not I'd be remaining for the whole driving course, but it worked out, and it worked out really well.
Driving course, very intense, but when you put the techniques into use, it just comes to you.
Now comes the real test. This is where they learn the essentials of protection services. And it won't be easy. The RCMP wants only the best to be in VIP protection.
In the National VIP course, it's separated into three distinct areas, the first being the ops plan and site plans, the second being motorcading, and the third being bodyguarding. We start off the course with ops planning and site security, and it's one of the lead points for our course, because when dignitaries come to visit Canada, they go to sites, whether it be hotels or convention centers. So when they come to visit, every site that they go to has to be secured.
For this training scenario, the instructors have chosen the RCMP stables, home of the famous musical ride, often a destination of choice for visiting VIPs, which is why it is a logical training scenario. Filled with corridors, side rooms, and even hiding places, the labyrinth-like layout poses incredible challenges for the candidates.
So basically the candidates will be coming here and doing a site plan for an actual visit. That's going to be part of our mock visit on Thursday. They'll be coming in and they're going to be looking at the site itself, looking for where there's parking, where they're going to bring their motorcade in, how they're going to set up the motorcade. They're going to look at where the washrooms are, and they're going to want to see where everything is located, emergency exits and so on and so forth for the dignitaries' security.
It is essential that the site is secure. They must assess and reassess the area for potential threat venues. An attack can come from anywhere. Worst-case scenarios have to be planned for. Nothing can be missed. Once the site has been approved, the travel routes need to be prepared for the motorcade. The routes chosen must be quick, efficient, but above all, safe.
This morning they were given a route plan lecture and they went out and planned routes, and now we are practicing with those routes. So everything's got to be smooth, everything's got to be safe. There's always minor issues here and there. That's why we're here. And then once we leave the course, and hopefully they got the base to keep improving when they go to their units in real operations.
As soon as it's clear to go and the motorcade commander gives the command to go, what we're going to do is we're going to come up and we're going to form almost like a little umbrella. Okay, so both your S1 and your S2 are going to be on the left-hand side protecting that side of the limo, and we're going to take them right over to the proper side, and we move it over, and then we fall back into our normal formation. There's a lot of small details that we work with on a daily basis in VIP, and motorcading is the same. There's certain ways you have to open the doors, certain ways you have to protect your motorcade.
Candidates take turns being either motorcade commander or driver. Their routes must be flawless and timed to the second. Communication is vital.
There's a lot of stress. They know that today is a day that the proverbial stopwatch is going, and we're sitting in the cars and watching everything that they're doing. So they've got to bring their A game in, and they've got to make it happen.
Approaching intersection, light is red, be prepared to stop.
VIP work is really important as far as the motorcading is concerned. It's one of the big three. When VIP does come off the plane from any country, the first exposure he gets to Canada is in the motorcade. So it has to be smooth. We all are just not security, we're also ambassadors for Canada. And we act in many roles that way.
The RCMP's VIP protection program is considered one of the best in the world. Many countries look to the RCMP for help with their protective service programs. But that prestige has been earned through exceptionally high standards. Those standards come with a cost. Only those who are quick thinking, have an eye for detail, and can hold up under pressure will advance.
Well, unfortunately, not everybody made it through the motorcade module, but by and large, once again, it's just the nerves.
The final training module, bodyguard protection, lightning-fast reactions to deadly serious scenarios. The ultimate physical and mental test for the candidates.
Once they finish this course, if they get their certificate, it's game on, and it starts now. There's no time to make mistakes after you leave this building.
The National VIP course is 2/3 complete, with only the bodyguard module remaining. Combatives, the art of self-defense. This training is critical for candidates. Having the ability to deter or defeat an attacker with your hands It can mean the difference between life and death. It's the most physically challenging part of the course.
Right now, the candidates are learning self-defense techniques in order to be able to protect their VIP. If there's attacks that come towards them with either knives or guns or any other type of weapon, they have to be able to get that weapon away from the person and get the VIP out of the way.
So you over here, gun, go over here, bang, all the way.
Gun!
Down, elbows down.
I was frustrated today. Yeah, I was definitely frustrated because I want to do things well and I want to be able to do them effectively too. So it was a challenge. It was a lot. I don't know what I was expecting for this afternoon. We can look at it on the syllabus, and then once you're actually here, of course, it's not what maybe you think.
It's now time for the candidates to use their hand-to-hand skills in real-world scenarios.
Now we have what we call scenario-based training. It's all scenarios we've prepared. Things that make sense, nothing over the top, but they got to come in and do their thing. You know, we have different bodyguard formation. They're going to start with a 4 members bodyguard, and we'll drop it down to 2, and then the one-on-one. Okay, what happened?
I looked to the left and I saw a man with a knife.
Okay.
And
Good reaction.
I'm trying to remember what I did now.
Jamming your VIP, he's out of harm's way, and then you deal with the threat. That was well done.
It's going well. It's going better than I thought it would. I was really anxious about it. Baby steps, baby steps.
You know, adrenaline's going and you're stressed out to the max because of the scenario-based training as well. But you just got to bring it down a notch and go in with common sense.
And of course, simunition, we use this weaponry that's all, it used to be called paintballs, similar to that. It's a soap-based type colorant that's in the rounds. And we use a 9mm, very similar to our service pistol. And so, you know, when they get through this scenario-based training using simunition, they get a little apprehensive about the idea of getting shot and getting shot at. You know, of course, there's no danger. We take all the safety precautions, but there's something about, you know, getting stung by some kind of a bullet that makes it very real, actually, and that's the idea behind it.
Scenario-based training helps the bodyguards to be alert, ready for the unexpected. March 1981, the unexpected happened. A deranged attacker comes after President Ronald Reagan. In the span of 3 seconds, 6 bullets were fired. Of those 6 bullets, 4 found targets, leaving several people critically injured, including the U.S. president. This is an example of why extreme emphasis is applied to the bodyguard module. These candidates need to be 100% aware of their surroundings, because a lot can happen in 3 seconds. The candidates have successfully completed the bodyguard training, but there is one more thing to do.
Every year we come down here and we pay respect to our fallen comrades. And so you can see all the names that died on duty.
The memorial is overwhelming. There's a few names that I recognize. I knew James Galloway. He was in K Division, and he was shot at a ERT call. So it's a little overwhelming because you recognize the names on there and you have a bit of a connection, but it's nice to see that those people are being recognized for, you know, putting the public and the safety before their own selves.
This is a grim reminder of how dangerous police work is, including VIP protection. It seems that every year, more names are added to the list of those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. Today is the final test, the last challenge for the candidates on the National VIP course. Here, they bring all their skills and training into sharp focus. They must escort a fictitious president through the busy streets of Ottawa. They don't know what to expect or what the threats could be, just like in the real world.
This is the candidates' opportunity to show us that they've grasped all of the techniques and the intricacies of VIP work and show us that they know what they're doing.
The mock visit is played throughout the city through real contacts, real sites. Ottawa City Police, who are second to none in the country, are amazing. We couldn't do it without them. They actually get to drive the real stretch limo for the first time. It's the real deal. And they see their work come live.
Good luck. Let's go.
Every turn of the motorcade could present a potential threat. The VIP protection candidates take turns in different roles, constantly being assessed and graded by instructors. They have been taught the techniques to deal with every situation. It's now up to them. The president is now under VIP protection, hour after hour, location after location. The candidates escort the mock president. The VIP team must ensure his safety at all times. While the motorcade is en route, Constable Monique Cooper is finalizing the security at the next site. A problem arises, and she deals with it.
Member site commander, just to advise, dealing with this young lady here, she's got herself handcuffed to the bench. I'm just running a 29 on her.
The mock visit is as real as it can get. Site after site, real potential problems are encountered. Every scenario must be dealt with quickly and efficiently. At the end of every scenario, the team is debriefed on what they did right and what they did wrong.
We put a lot of pressure on them. Obviously, and that's what it's all about. You know, when you're tasked with protecting the leader of your country, or leaders of countries like the United States of America, you have to have your A game on. You have to be capable of putting up with that kind of stress and that kind of hours, and it's very demanding, but also very rewarding at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, the VIP was kept safe from all threats. The National VIP training course is now officially finished. Some passed, some didn't. For Constable Monique Cooper and Corporal Harpreet Dhaliwal, their hard work and dedication have paid off. They successfully finished the course.
The whole experience was really, really incredible. It was like being on a roller coaster that had lots of twists and turns and even a couple of loops. Sometimes I didn't know if I was going backwards or forwards. But being at this end of it, at this perspective, I can honestly say it was fantastic.
Let me tell you, it's a big load off your shoulders and stuff like that. It's one of the best courses that I've been on. It was very realistic. Now it's up to the individual members to just keep going and keep at it.
It's nice to see the candidates bring it all together and actually go out and do the job at the end of the course, because we do everything compartmentalized, and then at the end on the mock visit we throw everything together, and it's a culmination of everything from ops site planning, the ops plan itself, the motorcade, the bodyguarding. It all comes together, and it's fun to see the candidates succeed.
Every single member of the RCMP has come through these doors.
Get control of your fear.
I can't breathe.
Get control of what stresses you.
Please go to the ground, now!
We can stand shoulder to shoulder with any organization across the world.
Sick stomach, 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 stomach.
That is not what we want to do.
My son's going to depot on December 9th. I'll be looking forward to present him with his badge.
Yeah, we're not just hemming pants here, we're dressing Mounties.
All over Canada, members of the RCMP are committed to preserving the peace. They're posted to detachments across the country, serving communities in rural, urban, and northern settings. Their duties range from frontline policing to international peacekeeping and counterterrorism. Their extreme scope of service is immeasurable, and each modern-day member has one thing in common. They all started at Depot.
Depot is the actual home of the RCMP, and it's a very interesting place. It's a place where members of the force really get grounded. It's where we all start our careers. The history is there, the roots are there, and that's what we're all about.
It's been more than 125 years since Depot Division first started its police training in Regina, Saskatchewan. In that time, over 60,000 cadets have gone through the program. Al Marion has been a member of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police for over 27 years. Now his son Kevin hopes to follow in his footsteps.
My son's going to Depot on December 9th, yes, so good luck to Kevin here.
I'll ask you guys to introduce yourself.
I'm here because my dad's a Mountie. He's been doing it for almost 28 years now, and it's always been a part of me when I grew up.
So it's in your blood.
I guess, yeah.
It's mixed. I have mixed emotions about it. You always, always want to make sure that nothing happens to your kids.
I accept the RCMP's invitation to attend the cadet training program in accordance with the terms of this offer.
You know, the police world is not an easy world. The rules of engagement are different than they were when I was in 27 years ago. But I know he's going to have a great career, and I'm very proud of him. And I'm looking forward, like I say, to present him with his badge and maybe pass on some of my knowledge and wisdom to him.
This year, over 1,700 candidates will be trying to prove themselves at Depot. It's intensive training, and not all of them have what it takes to make it.
Let's go.
For Roberto Bruni, the stakes are higher than most. This is his second time around.
Yeah, 6 years ago, in November 2002, I came to Depot. I lasted a little bit, so I left Depot maybe a week or so in the process, or not even. I'm feeling the same way, but I know it's normal to feel that way. So it's going to be a lot different, different experience now, yeah.
The day of departure arrives, and Kevin and Roberto begin their journey. In a matter of hours, they will be joining Troop 40, the next troop to arrive at Depot.
I've heard a lot of things from a lot of different people about what Depot is and the history and everything like that. So actually getting boots on the ground and seeing what it's like and walking the grounds and seeing just what Depot is, I'm anxious for that.
Morning. Welcome to Depot. And welcome to Saskatchewan. I'm just going to spend a few minutes just telling you a little bit about Depot, tell you a little bit about myself. Every single Monday morning since I've been there, there's a new troop that starts at 8 o'clock, and I do a troop welcome. And obviously, there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of anticipation. So they really are not 100% sure of what to expect. What will make a difference here is your attitude, and most of you, or if not all of you, have already said this is where you want to be. My goal on an orientation day is to give them a little bit of a sense of reality of what the expectations of Depot is. It's going to be a hard 6 months.
Okay, find the bag, find the bag.
In Regina, Saskatchewan, Depot Division is home to the cadets of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Roberto Bruni and Kevin Marion are part of the latest troop. They have only one goal: prove that they have what it takes to be a devoted and valued member of the RCMP. It will be a long 160 days for these cadets, and some won't make it past the first few nights.
I got here yesterday, so I've been here for about 24 hours. It was difficult to leave, but I've left before for school, so I know what it's like.
I've grown up in the footsteps of my grandfather and my father, both being members, and my brother's here right now. Me and my brother here working on our careers and living the dream, in my opinion.
We're all in this together, and it's a unique mentality. Everybody's used to thinking on their own, and the simple fact of being in a troop, you have to gel together because we're only as strong as our weakest link. So.
Put your hands down to your side. Put your heels and toes together. Heels together. Heels together. Toes are spread out. Don't eyeball me. I'm not wearing anything of yours. Marker. Question 1. Why isn't this troop formed up off the New Brunswick plaque?
I have no excuse.
Well, go!
Yes,
go!
Officer.
Go! 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 Oh, Marshall! You're on my side!
My role is to have them maintain and develop, perhaps some of them, that character. And that character must be maintained in the face of adversity, and at times I need to represent that adversity.
Did you find something amusing?
Corporal.
What's amusing? You had a smirk on your face, and I'm curious to see what you could possibly find amusing about this class thus far. Because I'll tell you, I'm certainly not amused with your troop's performance. So humor me, because you apparently are in on the know of something that I'm not.
There's nothing, Corporal.
I'm not a corporal.
But what I do is I serve to simulate some of that stress that police officers will feel in the field. And I do that within the safe environment at depot.
Get control of your fear. Get control of what stresses you.
Their success is my satisfaction because I know that they've earned it. And if I can hone that image, that iconic image of a Mountie into their persona, and they walk out of here and embrace that, that's my satisfaction.
Get down for 10! Get down! Wake up! Tune in!
Depot exposes its candidates to high-intensity training. The ability to manage stress and exercise good judgment is crucial.
I'd say one of the major challenges for cadets is stress and dealing with your stress. We want them exposed to that stress because it gets stressful for them when they're out in the field.
That was purposely shot high. That is not what we want to do.
So in tight. Thumb is pointing to where I want to shoot. I'll try to keep it nice and low. So watch the target.
We're getting shot at. Come on.
Physical fitness is also a priority. It prepares cadets for the dangers of frontline policing.
On your stomach. We're here to train them, to push them beyond their limits, to see exactly what their bodies can do so that they can make the right decisions and risk assessments when they leave depot and to allow them to be the best they can.
But training is much more than physical fitness. It teaches safety and self-defense.
Basically here what I'm teaching is police defensive tactics to the cadets. It's an 82-hour program. That does not only include boxing, striking, or ground fighting. It also includes being able to risk assess, having high awareness at all times, ensuring that they understand the intervention model and what we do. Every day, just showing up in your uniform can sometimes change a situation because a lot of times bad things happen to good people.
To equip cadets for this reality, Depot uses extensive scenario-based training. Training that provides the tools to carry out everyday policing.
We'll put down everything on paper, what you saw, what you know, and that'll really help our investigation, all right?
Okay. Cadets are exposed to 115 scenarios, so we force them to look at a situation and tell us, as a police officer, how would you manage this situation with the end in mind of meeting the expectations of the people we serve.
And amidst all of the practical training, cadets must excel in a rigorous academic environment, covering subjects like law, investigative techniques, and cultural diversity, to name a few. It's a steep learning curve at Depot, and second-timer Roberto Bruni is struggling to keep up.
Sometimes you feel down at night. Usually it's at night that you feel homesick a little bit, because you have time to think. At nighttime, sometimes it's a little bit frustrating sometimes, but it's only 6 months of your life, and then it's all done.
The separation from family and friends can be hard to bear during the holidays. And for Roberto Bruni, it proves to be too much. For the second time in 6 years, he has failed to last longer than a week at Depot and decides to go home. Depot Division is a place where civilians arrive as cadets and leave as highly trained members of the RCMP. But it's also a place where civilians arrive for regular work, where they mend uniforms, cut hair, and prepare meals. Some of these people have worked at Depot for more than 20 years.
My name's Susan Cullen. I work at the RCMP Training Academy at the Division Mess. Been here for 21 years. You meet so many wonderful people, and I'm proud of each and every one of the cadets. It makes you cry sometimes when they say goodbye. Yeah.
I've been here 5.5 years, but my background's sewing. I really don't know if the people of Canada realize how much they give to serve us. It's phenomenal. They leave family, they leave kids, they leave wives, they leave their jobs. It's amazing what the dedication they've got. I'm proud to be part of Depot. I really am. Yeah, we're not just hemming pants here, we're dressing Mounties.
Now, try those on next, and when you come out, you can throw those into the shop and card as keepers. Okay. I'll take those rejects and put them away while you're doing that. My name's Rick McElvenna. I've worked here in Depot stores outfitting recruits and cadets for my 37th year now. So I've outfitted about 25 to 29,000 members altogether through my course of my career. I had something in, not all of them individually, but I've had something to do with some of them. So we're just getting the knack of it now, eh?
I grew up on base as an RCMP brat. My father is a retired member, so I mean, I spent a lot of time at Depot. This is actually nice to kind of get back and actually put in pay my dues, so to speak. So it's great. The atmosphere is phenomenal. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
It's to me, that's what it's all about. It's that sense of family, it's that sense of grounding and the bonding that we take place. And for them, Depot's home. For them, Depot's where their career is. And they form a huge part of Depot, and they form a huge part of the organization.
I farm full-time, so I call myself semi-retired, so this is more enjoyment for me. I mean, I can meet people from all across Canada. It's great fun watching them come in, and especially the trouble they can get into as a troop. That's the fun part. How long has your dad been in service?
28 years? Well, coming on 28.
Really? So he's never been back since then?
He came back for the funeral for Thorpe.
I knew all 4 of those guys.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw every one of those go through training here. Actually, that was a pretty tough Saturday that day when that happened. A few cadets that went through here did die in the line of duty. You know, 10 that I know myself that lost their lives in the line. So.
Each and every one of Depot's streets is named after a member who was killed in the line of duty. It's a constant reminder to its cadets that police work is extremely dangerous. The days and weeks pass by quickly. Winter turns to spring, and training gets more advanced. Cadets experience the pain of getting pepper sprayed, working through the pain, is what teaches them to focus.
Open your eyes. Blink. Okay. Find the bag. Find the bag. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Find your radio.
Dispatch, this is 92011.
10-4, where are you?
1020, west end of Edmonton. TM. I can't breathe. Deep breath, deep breath.
It's not just pepper spray. Each cadet must also be exposed to gas. The instructor works the cadets to enhance their breathing rates. The more breathing, the more gas their bodies will take in.
Off your masks. Back to front. Rio, where are you from? Where?
Training generates a strong bond between cadets, a bond that grows deeper over the course of the demanding 6-month training period.
When you're at your lowest of your low you can possibly go, there's always someone there to pick you up. And the same can be said for when you see a troop mate that's following you know, and you're able to pick them up.
We can stand shoulder to shoulder with any organization across the world. And I really believe that the training that those cadets get for the 6 months in depot is second to none.
There is a revolving door at depot. With each new troop that arrives, another graduates. Kevin Marion's dream of becoming a member of the RCMP is almost a reality. His troop graduates this week.
Standing at the airport makes depot worth it. It makes everything that you've gone through in the past 24 weeks worth it. Seeing your parents come down that escalator, standing in your red surge, and the tears start flowing.
It was a shock. It's people that step back into your life after 6 months, and everything that's happened here is so detached from what I had back there, So
what you got to do before you leave here next week, Tuesday morning, you've got to find the time, and it will go by in a heartbeat. You've got to find the time to take a moment to thank the person or the people in this troop that helped you get to where you're at. Every day that I have here is a bit of a blessing, quite frankly. When I have a chance to play the role of the commanding officer and hand out that badge on graduation day, it's sort of the highlight of my week. It's absolutely phenomenal. It puts me on a high.
It's incredible to be a part of this history, and now I'm actually a part of it. I can't even explain how much of an honor it is.
To me, it's just not a ceremony where you give someone a badge. To me, it's very, very personal. And you can just see that when they come up with a sense of purpose. They come up saying, you know what, I've earned that badge. It's time for you to present me with my badge, and I'm ready to go out and be involved in policing across Canada.
Definitely one of the proudest moments in my career. Would have thought 28 years ago, actually almost 29 years ago, when I walked through those doors, that I would see my son one day join the outfit, and which it's a great honor.
It's a good culmination after 24 weeks. It's good to finally get that badge.
Graduation does not simply mark the end of training. It celebrates those who were strong enough to make it through, and it welcomes them as the newest additions to the ranks and to the RCMP family.
It's emotional, that's for sure. You see 3 generations of police officers, and I'm the last one. It's definitely an honor to have them presenting me as well.
And I'm so proud of both of them. It doesn't matter what color uniform you wear. The RCMP is a great organization, as well as all the other police forces across country, but I just can't be more proud of these 2 young men right now as their dad.
This is our time to enjoy it, and I think a lot of us are proud to do that. So.
I present to you 28 individuals who have braved hardships, both personal and professional, to earn the right to protect and serve our communities, and to do so with pride and preparedness. Joining the elite, they consider themselves worthy of wearing this iconic police uniform. I present to you Troop 40.
driver is a male. We have a female occupant.
Cornwall detachment in Ontario is probably the busiest detachment we have.
There goes a boat right now. We see one speeding by. Well, this goes 24/7, and there's around 59 to 60 boat trips a day.
Alpha 1, Alpha 4 is behind you. Get out of here, man. Stop it.
I'm not sure what this guy's business is on the island.
They think they're just sticking it to the tax man, but they're really financing organized crime groups to do all these other illicit activities.
It's a Ford 250. He's trying to block us. It's a cat and mouse game, so that's the way they operate.
Dusk is falling in Cornwall as residents rush home from work. For the RCMP's Customs and Excise Unit, the work shift is just beginning.
Command post from Alpha 1, we are ready.
Tonight, they are undercover, on the lookout for smugglers crossing the U.S.-Canada border with contraband goods.
That may be him up ahead of you there.
Watch for a white Dodge Caravan off the west end, heavy.
It's approaching the base. It's approaching the base right now. Turning right in the process. It's going to hit 9th Avenue right now.
Before they can stop the vehicle, the team must confirm they have enough grounds to do so. They'll have to get close to the target without raising the alarm.
Okay, it's doing the jog, doing the jog.
The jog means the vehicle has adopted a suspicious route across town.
Oh, I'm toast. This thing's over.
It's routing these RCMP officers are familiar with. And a good sign that something's going on.
Yeah, it's Hebert. I'm going to get the plate. I have to peel off of this thing here. Obviously, it knows I'm here.
Most of the time, these officers will pull a vehicle over on the road. Rarely does a vehicle lead them to a home base.
It went into the back of a residence.
Tonight, the team is lucky.
Bravo 2 to command post. The vehicle, the white Caravan, does have contraband inside. We found a second van on this location in the garage, loaded with contraband as well. We'll need another tow.
Two birds with one stone. The vans and their contents are seized and taken to the RCMP's exhibit vault, where everything is counted and processed as evidence. This is a valuable seizure.
It's not about the cigarettes, it's about all the different organized crime groups that are trying to take advantage and to get the public to understand that our role is really to protect the communities, because we have these people out there driving vehicles in a terrible state. Some of them are high on alcohol or drugs, so people could get hurt. 17 full flavor we count.
Tonight there was 48, I was told 48 cases of contraband tobacco that were seized. The value of that tobacco that's seized is approximately $52,000. Plus there's also 2 vehicles that are seized. Those are at least $6,000 to $7,000 minimum per vehicle, so you're almost at $70,000 value in the seizure.
Not a bad night for the Customs and Excise Unit. But for the smugglers, this seizure is just the cost of doing business. A lucrative business.
Just put it between the 2 boxes.
So smugglers will do anything to make sure their contraband goods make it across the border undetected.
Alpha team, regroup to work unit.
Constable Mark Phillip is just 10 months out of the RCMP Academy.
Good morning, I'm Constable Phillip from the RCMP. Do you have anything I should know in your car?
No, nothing in my car.
Nothing in your car?
Should I need a warrant though for this?
No, under 99(1)(f) of the Custom Act. Okay. Which gives me the right to search your car. I can search your car, I can search you. So, right now, I'm going to ask you once more again. Do you transport anything in your car?
Take a look.
There we go.
Well, you go check mine.
Yeah. Just stay, yeah? Okay. Now you are under arrest for Section 32(1) of the Excise Act, which is possession of unstamped tobacco. Do you understand?
Not only is this a big seizure, but a little digging reveals some even better news for the team.
The person we arrested this evening is going to be held for a bail hearing because we've caught him before on previous. He's actually reporting at our office weekly for previous Excise Act charges. So now he will go tomorrow before the Justice of Peace and be held for a bail hearing. So that's good when you can keep them in detention.
But while the RCMP is tied up processing these exhibits, countless other vehicles loaded with smuggled goods are reaching their destinations. Cornwall, Ontario sits on the idyllic shores of the St. Lawrence River. This is Three Nations Crossing. Here, borders split the Akwesasne-Mohawk territory between Ontario, Quebec, and New York State. In one tiny area, there are two countries, two provinces, one state, and an Aboriginal community with land in each territory. And each has its own law enforcement agency. It's a geographical and jurisdictional nightmare for local authorities. And it makes the area a hotbed for illegal smuggling activity. The RCMP Customs and Excise Unit must work with their partners to stop it. Right now, they're on a high-intensity counter-smuggling operation. And there's been no shortage of activity.
We filled up this bin in the last 2 days. This represents around 2 million cigarettes valued at $250,000. There are producers down in North Carolina and South Carolina that supply raw leaf and fine cut tobacco to a dozen factories located in the Akwesasne-Mohawk territory. And there are around 42 organized crime groups that are involved in the illicit tobacco trade in this area. This is non-stop, 24/7.
This tobacco is used to produce a carton of cigarettes for a mere $2. The cartons are shipped to smugglers by boat across the St. Lawrence River to temporary warehouses on Cornwall Island. This means the RCMP also have to patrol the waterway.
The challenge is if we're pursuing a boat, right now we're entering into New York State water, so we're not supposed to be policing in New York State or in the United States. And as we circle around now, we're getting into the Quebec waters. So when a boat we're pursuing is going from the Canadian waters into the American waters, then we have to often call our partners to continue the pursuit. But we risk losing the suspect boat and the illegal commodity.
This makes chasing smugglers and their faster boats a game of cat and mouse.
There goes a boat right now. We see one speeding by. This is a cold day, and at those speeds, whoever's on board is trying to get something from point A to point B very quickly. Right. So we're going to go try and see.
It takes mere minutes for a boat to get from the U.S. portion of the Akwesasne-Mohawk territory to Cornwall Island and offload the illegal goods into vehicles.
I think I see some boats over there. Well, this goes 24/7, and there's around 59 to 60 boat trips a day with these cigarettes and hundreds of cases of cigarettes.
Home safe on their own territory, smugglers are brazen in their attempt to protect their own.
There we got a vehicle lighting us up. If it was more dark, they would do that to light us up. It gets darker, there'll be more and more activity.
Once on shore, smugglers will run the cigarettes to major cities. There, the same carton of cigarettes that cost $2 to produce will sell for up to $20. For smugglers, there is profit to be made, but only if they can get their vehicles past the RCMP teams watching the roads.
The black one is covered.
During the first week of the operation, the RCMP and their partners have made 35 seizures. As a result, they've seen a drop in illegal contraband activity. But it's just a matter of time before the smugglers regroup and start moving again. Winter will provide a whole new set of challenges.
The gift? What's this?
We gotta take him down.
It's winter in Cornwall. Members of the RCMP Customs and Excise Unit and their partners are on the lookout for smugglers.
10th Street, I'll confirm.
This is the first high-intensity operation of the season.
Alpha team, please.
Speedboats can't make it across the river, but snowmobiles can.
Charlie 23?
Yes.
This is Constable Mark Phillips' first winter in Cornwall.
The ice bridge facilitates basically the incoming tobacco from the state because they don't have to go through the border. And for them, it's a plus. And for us, of course, it's more work because we're going to have more load coming this way. Some going to go through with snowmobile, but most of the traffic going to go this way.
Alpha 1, Alpha 4 is in position.
The shift has just begun, and the team has already noticed spotters on the road.
I'm just going to check where this car goes, and I'll let you know.
Before sending a loaded vehicle with contraband, they're going to start by sending some people over across the bridge and looking for us in town. There's also, we call them blockers. They're going to slow down their speed and block our servants.
I'm stuck, I cannot move. It's a cat and mouse game, so that's the way they operate.
Bravo Echo Whiskey Hotel. Had a good roll to it, looked heavy. Should be touching down any second now. 4-door Buick.
10-4 team going north on Brookdale. I repeat, going north on Brookdale. Be advised, guy, we have Ford 250. I think he's trying to block us.
Is that for a car that's supposedly blocking off the...
No, negative. Car was trying to spot us before, and he tried to block us now.
Stop sign at 15.
Left indicator for Cumberland. I got control.
Alpha 1, please advise when you're ready for CPIC info.
Ready for CPIC. Still red on 9th, no indicator, going north on Cumberland. The driver is a male, and we have a female occupant, passenger.
Okay, I got your back.
10-4 is all yours. Go, go, go.
Okay, we're going eastbound on 13. Pulling up to the pump.
We're gonna take it down. I'm afraid he's gonna drop the load.
Alpha 2, I'm gonna set up. I'll have an eye from Henry Street.
You have been stopped under 99-1F of a custom act, which give us the right to search your car. Do you transport anything in this car? Do you transport anything in your car? What do you transport? Cigarettes. Cigarettes. Okay, sir. Up, step out of the car. Put your hand behind your back. Hand behind your back. You're under arrest for Section 42(1) of Excise Act, which is possession of unstamped tobacco. Drop it.
It's my phone.
The phone stay there, remember?
Get out of here, man.
Stop it.
I have an uncooperative subject there. Can you just go make sure everything's okay over there?
After processing the exhibits, the team is back out on the road.
The best part of my job, it's from the beginning of a shift till the end of my shift. I just love my job. I enjoy so much everything I'm doing. I won't say there is a best part. For me, everything is nice. Like surveillance is great. Dealing with people, it's always great because you have to work on your temper a lot. Everything is great, basically.
On their next shift, the team spots two drivers from a crew who tend to run from police.
Alpha 1, Alpha 2, do we go for the bigger load or?
We are gonna go for the first one we can get. So the Grand Prix is touching down and the Impala is following, guys. Wait, it's gonna take Grand Prix 7 East, Impala following.
Alpha 3's got it by the nose. Is there anybody behind it?
Mark Alpha 4 is behind you. I'm behind you, Mark Alpha 4.
Alpha 2 is right on the Impala, 7 East. Coming up to a stale red, just turned green at Cumberland.
Okay, I see him there now. I got one for shade.
Okay, Alpha 3 is all yours.
So I lost the Grand Prix, but I'm clean on the Impala.
So let's take the Impala then. I got control, he's going east on 9th. Dan Brisson, are you ready?
Yeah, just trying to catch up here. Okay, let's arrange to pull it over. You still pulling both or just one?
Just one, the gray Impala.
Alpha 1, Alpha 4, give me an update.
We're committed. East on 2nd now. East on 2nd, do I have a back?
Yeah, behind you. Alpha 3 behind you.
Stop 747.
There's a good bounce to it, and it's pull over. Right at the intersection here. He's trying to run here on it.
It's too dangerous.
Flying on his own. Okay, guys, disregard.
He's over the median, he's over the median.
Then pull over. Nobody follow it.
Yeah, Alpha team, no pursuit, no pursuit.
It actually came out while the RCMP unmarked vehicles were trying to block it in, over the median in grass, over another median, and then it departed away from the scene, and that's when we called off the pursuit. It's important that we first of all know that no one got injured tonight, and that is satisfying in that respect.
Pull over. Nobody follow it.
It's RCMP policy to ensure public and police officer safety. So the officers will regroup and concentrate on seizing another vehicle.
You have to understand, most of them, they don't have too much to lose. They already a pretty long criminal record, so they have nothing to lose. That's why they escape. And most of them are instructed to not stop to police. It's kind of frustrating. But because of our policy, it's not a big deal. So we don't get this one, we're going to get the following.
Four days into their high-intensity counter-smuggling operation, the RCMP have been busy. They've arrested 15 smugglers so far, and nearly half of them are below the age of 25. The RCMP know these young people are being lured by the promise of quick, easy cash. To counter this, they're working with local youth on a number of different initiatives.
I think the young kids get in it because it's easy money. So you don't need to go out and get experience on the job. You just need to be able to drive a car. But it's not hard work and it's well paying. But it's not only young people. I've seen even some 80-year-old people in here, and that shocked me more than anything. Seeing someone that's senior citizen and still doing this kind of activity, it's shocking.
Members will also work with the community to inform the general public and help curb the demand for contraband cigarettes.
Okay, I'll work on those.
The smoking public out there are choosing this. We try to get the message out there that they're financing organized crime groups. These same organized crime groups are actually smuggling firearms and drugs both ways across the border, and this impacts all our community. There are people out there that don't realize, they think they're just sticking it to the tax man, but they're really financing organized crime groups to do all these other illicit activities, and it's a huge problem.
Every time the RCMP makes an arrest, they're not just seizing contraband. They're gathering intelligence, which they'll share with their partners. So every investigation has to be thorough. This vehicle isn't loaded with contraband, but the driver is driving with a suspended license, which raises a few more questions.
Yeah, it's Nate.
These officers have a gut feeling that something else is going on.
He seems to be all going in the back of his seat, and it's as if to me he's hiding money in the rest of the seat.
Sure enough, upon further search of the vehicle, the team discovers a locked suitcase to which the driver claims to have no key.
It appears to be U.S. denominations, a good almost 20 pounds worth. So my suspicion right now is I believe that given I see the money heading east towards Montreal, it could have an indication of marijuana trade.
The driver is taken into custody, and the money is brought back to the detachment to be counted.
Well, the seizure we had today is a perfect example as to what occurs in this area. Guaranteed, it's very satisfying to seize the currency. It's something which is usually would go into the organized crime's pockets. Guaranteed, it does hurt them a little bit more at the source.
The final total of the money seized was $260,780. I can assess probably that between 1 and 5% of the goods are being seized as opposed to the 95% or 98% that goes through. So it is the tip of the iceberg that we're seizing here in Cornwall.
Keep your hands over there. Everything's good?
So the Customs and Excise Unit of the Cornwall RCMP is soon back on the road.
Just look at me. Do you have anything illegal in your vehicle?
Yeah, I do.
because so are the smugglers. Soon, the team will move into a new building not far from the International Bridge. This means they will be ready to accommodate a larger presence of RCMP officers to help fight contraband smuggling.